Now, depending on what stage you're at in the process, you may or may not already have a domain. And if you don't have a domain and it's a decision that you're looking to take, you're probably thinking this could have quite significant implications from an SEO perspective. And historically, you'd have been spot on. This was picking the right domain, really kind of keyword-rich domains, was considered one of the most significant steps towards developing a successful SEO strategy. Now, I'm not going to say that's completely changed. There are certainly still benefits from having keywords within a domain, not least because when people then naturally link to the domain, they're going to be including keywords within the anchor text in a very natural, legitimate way. So it definitely has advantages. However, those benefits are vastly outweighed by the potential downside if it is not brandable. So to give you an example, let's imagine you're looking to build the website tvsonline.com. Now, you could imagine people talking about tvsonline.com like it was a real brand, like they could trust it. You could imagine even there being offline shops called tvsonline.com. Like it could be a real brand doing real things. However, tvs-online-uk-cheap .info, forget it. Nobody's trusting that. So even if it benefits from some very short-term artificial ranking inflation, that's not going to last. That's not going to be sustainable because Google will see that people don't trust it. So that's the first consideration. You have to prioritize a sense of brand. Can you imagine this becoming a brand? Secondly, then, you want to consider the extension. Now, as a general rule, if you can get a .com, fantastic. That's obviously not always that easy. And if your audience is quite local, let's say your audience was UK based, then actually a .co.uk is just as good. .nets can work well. .orgs can be really nice if you're looking to develop a sense of community. I'm generally reluctant to recommend too many others, but again, it comes down to the brand. So for some businesses, having a .london can work really nicely from a brand perspective. You wouldn't necessarily expect any kind of short-term SEO benefit. You'd need to really kind of build those brand signals, but certainly it can work for certain businesses. The final consideration I'll add is regarding the inclusion or exclusion of hyphens. Now, within the domaining world, there tends to be a bit of snobbery towards hyphens, and certainly if you can get the non-hyphenated version, then as a general rule, that's probably better. But not necessarily. Sometimes it can actually really nicely break up words and improve the legibility of the domain. So again, it comes down to how you feel about it, whether or not you can imagine that becoming a real brand. And to be frank, hyphenated domains are just a lot easier to find, so you might not have a lot of choice. So those are all the considerations. Ultimately, it comes down, as I keep saying, to this one thing: brand.